Put yourself in position to win big on Kentucky Derby Day with the power of daily racing form. Visit shop.drf.com and get past performances, expert picks, betting strategies, clock reports, and more. Again, that's shop.drf.com.
Hey everyone, Ashley Mailloux here with another stakes preview for this Saturday at Churchill Downs. We're going to focus in on race number 5, the 1 mile Distaff Turf Mile. This is for fillies and mares of 4-year-olds and upward, a $500,000 purse on the line. We'll take a look at the slate here for this year's edition and look at the field here. 8 are entered. Chad Brown has several other notable trainers in here as well. Graham Motion's Spenderello, who's been really splendid throughout her career. Wakanaka for trainer Bill Mott. And even some, little couple outsiders in here as well to maybe go over and take a look at for at least the exotics. But we'll start with the long shot on the rail, the number 1, Sharp Hero. This one out of the Bradley Ross barn was a winner last out at Hawthorne, sprinting on the dirt at 3/4. Prior to that, you have to go 3 back for a win. Also at Hawthorne on the dirt. And it's been a while since she's been on the turf. Her most recent turf race was October of 2022. That was at Hawthorne. She closed late to just miss by a neck behind Richie's Great Girl. Not in a 6 race, just in an allowance optional claiming event where she was not in for the tag, but she was just 3rd best in that spot. She's still looking for a turf win. It's interesting to see her here. She is going to stretch out in distance, and she's going to get back on the grass. And looking at her turf efforts, they've been sprints. So that's why you're seeing 50-1 on the number 1, Sharp Hero. The number 2, Speak of the Devil, French-bred mare, who is trained by Chad Brown, has recently kind of come over here, has only been over stateside for a year, and she's just made 3 appearances. Her lone win was her first start, and what race was it in? It was in this race. She was almost a 3-length winner in there. She finished in front of Italian, her stablemate, Wakanaka, and since then, she's left a little bit to be desired. In her following start at Belmont, in terms of the race for her, she did not break very well. She kind of slow and never really got into gear. Regal Glory ended up winning that event. And more recently in the Honey Fox, she was shuffled back early on. She did make a late run as the favorite to finish 5th. And I just think Gulfstream Park Turf, Churchill Turf, they're very different. It wouldn't be surprising to see her also poised to race very well, second off that lengthy layoff. She's a 6-time winner in her career. Number 3, Howdy, one of her stablemates in this field, who's a winner in her most recent start. You have to go all the way back to August to find it. It's at Saratoga. We're going to take a look at that race. It was the Grade 2 Lake Placid, a field of 6. And Howdy in here, we circled her here on the screen. She's the 6. She's in front at this point, and you can see she's going to try to keep it going. She's going to kick clear. She's actually going to angle out a little bit. She seemed like she was just trying to, get kind of going and continue her path in a straight trajectory. And she is able to get the job in here. She's able to take them a gate to wire in the mile and a 16th event. Prior to that, they tried her at Belmont in that mile a quarter event. I just think she's a much better horse at a mile or maybe a mile and a 16th. And I think in her case, that extra 16th might be challenging for her. So I'm really excited to see her back at that flat mile, a distance that she's found a lot of success at. Jose Ortiz was only aboard her in that most recent outing, which is a victory, and is booked to ride her again on Saturday. The number 4, Wakanaka, been trained by Bill Mott. A little inconsistent in her last several starts. She's won, then she's had a poor performance and back and forth. Most recently, she was 5th at Gulfstream Park in her lone start of the year. But I wanted to go back to 2 races back. That was Breeders' Cup weekend at Keeneland in the Fall Harvest, which was race number 12. So you had to stick around to watch this one as that kind of final race on that day. And in terms of her trip here, compact field, she's dead last early on. She's the 2. We circled her. And just look at her late kind of stretch run here. Really impressive. She's kind of trying to catch up to the pace setters in here. And she just looks full of run. Her expression's great in the stretch. She really hits a really nice stride there. That was going a mile. I mean, I think a race pretty similar to that would make her very competitive in that spot. But there is the question of she's a little back and forth. We haven't seen her since late January. But looking at this field, other horses are coming off significantly longer layoff. So I'm curious to see her at Churchill. And she's had the 1 start there where she finished 3rd in last year's edition. The number 5, Spenderella, is the morning line favorite. It's not shocking when you look at her record. She's a 4-time winner from 5 starts. Graham Motion has just done a tremendous job with her. I really liked her most recent performance, which we are going to show, which is at Del Mar in the Del Mar Oaks, a Grade 1 race. And when we look at her in this spot, she is the number 11, was favored in here. And you can just see Tyra Gaffleon is just sitting on her at this point. Hasn't really made a move, starts to ask her a little bit. It was the first time that we had seen her since Ascot. And once called upon, everyone else, even if they're trying to make up ground, they're not doing so. A couple other horses are, they're tired at this point, and she just looked great here over the Del Mar turf. She got a 91 by her speed figure, which is the highest in her career. She wasn't, that much higher. She had 90s before that, but she's been beautifully managed. We haven't seen her since August, though, but she seems to be really training well for the connections. And this is an angle that Graham Motion is phenomenal with. Horses off a long layoff. He's 30% after 6 months or more of a layoff. And she's really hard to knock. She's been a really fun filly to watch so far in her career. The number 6, Sister Luann, this one trained by Sappy Joseph Jr., a second last out at Keeneland, going a mile and a 16th. She's one that if you look, she likes to be forwardly placed, or at least has in her last 2, and she's tired late. So knowing those are at a mile and a 16th, the mile should help her. But I think she's going to be in deeper waters than she's been before. And I think this level of competition is going to be too tough for her. The number 7, Fluffy Socks, another one, and the final one here for trainer Chad Brown. Now, they've sent her all over the place. Churchill, Monmouth, California, Saratoga. And my thing with her is you look at her last year, 6 starts, 4 second place finishes. She had no wins. When you go down the page, you have to go to October of 2021 at Belmont to find her most recent win. She can close in the stretch, and she has a really nice leg kick. She just gets beat. She's a tough, horse in general when you see who she's going to face in this spot to endorse on top. But you combine that with her resume. To me, one, if you're going to use, maybe to use underneath, but a lot of people are going to see who's booked to ride, and that's a Rod Ortiz Jr. Then rounding out the field, the number 8, Freedom Speaks, another long shot in this spot, who was 4th last out at Keeneland in an allowance event. Prior to that, had tried the Raven Run, had tried a stakes race at Kentucky Downs. She's done a couple different things. She's one that's just going to make her second start since October, and another one that in terms of a numbers perspective and just the races that she's run, she would really need to step up in this spot to beat some of the others. So that is the field of 8 in this event, and I don't think it's shocking. I have to go with the number 5, Spenderella, in terms of her resume, in terms of how she's won her races. She's just been extremely impressive. And, there are other horses in here that may try to press her early on, but I think her talent's going to carry her a far way. And here's Spenderella, short price, but my top pick. Other ones, though, I thought the 3, Howdy, was really impressive in the Lake Placid. I like that she hadn't really geared out. That was at a mile and a 16th, so I like her getting back to the mile. The 2, Speak of the Devil, she was so impressive in this race last year, and then her last 2 efforts, she's needed more. But another one that if a trainer's going to get these horses to perform well off a bit of a freshening first out, if not second out, it is going to be Chad Brown. And then finally the 4, Wakanaka. We showed the replay of the Fall Harvest. She was tremendous that day. She got the pace to run at. Just wondering if she's going to be able to do the same in this spot. I think horses such as Spenderella, can kind of get the jump on her early, and she'll have some work to do late. So I hate to eat chalk in this race, but Spenderella, she's a tremendous filly, and I think the most likely winner this Saturday in this event. Good luck.